Welcome to The Explainer. Today we're diving into a really radical, ancient manuscript that, honestly, challenges our most basic ideas about reality and who we even are. It's called The Doctrine of Perpetual Becoming, and it basically suggests that everything we think we know about existence, well, it might just be an illusion.
So let's just jump right in with a question that gets to the very heart of this philosophy. What if you isn't a static thing, a noun? What if it's a continuous process, a verb? What if you aren't a human being, but a human becoming? This right here is the fundamental shift in thinking we're about to explore.
And this quote from the text just sums it all up perfectly. What it's saying is reality isn't made of stable objects that sometimes change. No, reality is the change itself. It's a universe of pure, non-stop motion. And that single idea, if you really let it sink in, turns our whole understanding of existence completely on its head.
Okay, let's dive into this first part and really unpack what it means to live in a reality that is always in motion.
So what we're looking at here are two totally different ways of seeing the world. On one side, you have what the text calls the common error. That's how most of us think. We see static things, a fixed self, a state of just being. But on the other side, you have this ancient doctrine's view, a universe of dynamic processes, of constant becoming, where everything is just relationships, and there's no permanent, fixed you to be found anywhere.
And this leads us to a really mind-bending concept. See, if everything is a process, then you, the observer, you aren't separate from the world you're looking at. The manuscript argues that consciousness itself is the process of changing. It means you're not just some spectator watching the universe go by, you are the universe experiencing itself.
So this ancient teaching, then, lays out the entire cosmos as this grand epic story. It's this incredible journey that consciousness takes, not away from some source, but deeper into itself, all so it can truly know what it is.
And this cosmic journey gets broken down into four big steps. First, there's the source, this state of pure, simple unity. Then comes the descent, where consciousness kind of wraps itself in denser forms like matter. The third stage is the awakening, and that's the birth of you and me, of individual self-awareness. And finally, there's the return, where that original unity is realized all over again, only this time it's so much richer because of all the experiences along the way. And, get this, the text suggests humanity is right in the middle of stage 3, the Great Awakening.
And here's the crucial part. This journey into matter and individuality isn't seen as some kind of mistake or a fall from grace. The text is really clear on this. It's a necessary adventure for consciousness to learn and to grow. It doesn't become less than what it was. It actually becomes more, because it gets to explore all of these infinite possibilities.
All right, so how does this huge cosmic drama actually show up in our own lives? Well, the text calls these experiences the mirrors of Maya. And Maya here just means the great illusion, that powerful veil of perception that completely shapes our reality.
The first, and let's be honest, the most convincing layer of this illusion comes from the physical mirror. It's our most immediate reality, right? The feeling of our skin, our bones, our breath. Consciousness looks at its reflection in this solid, tangible form and immediately thinks, yep, this is me. I am this body. The text says this is our first big mistake. We mistake our eternal, formless self for its temporary, physical ride.
Next up, consciousness looks into the emotional mirror, which the text calls the most turbulent one. It reflects our awareness back to us as this constant, powerful storm of desire, joy, fear, passion. I mean, think about it. When we're caught in a wave of anger, we don't just say, I feel anger. We say, I am angry. We become the feeling, completely identifying with this ever-changing emotional current.
And then, in this complex web of ideas and logic, we find the sneakiest and most powerful mirror of all, the mind. This is the mirror that creates the illusion of a separate I, that little thinker who stands apart from the thoughts. It's that inner narrator, right? The voice that's always planning, worrying, judging. The manuscript says we get so hypnotized by this voice that we completely mistake the activity of thinking for who we actually are.
And this brings us to the absolute core of the teaching on suffering. According to this manuscript, our deepest pains, all of them, come from this one act of mistaken identity. Mistaking these distorted, temporary reflections in the mirrors for who we really are. It's the fundamental error of confusing the eternal consciousness with its fleeting vehicles, the body, the emotions, and the mind.
Now, this whole philosophy doesn't just apply to you as an individual, and this is where it gets startlingly relevant to what's happening in the world right now.
The manuscript looks at our modern crises, from ecological breakdown to political polarization, and it doesn't see them as a bunch of separate problems. It sees them as deeply interconnected symptoms. They are the warning signs that an old, separative way of being conscious is breaking down because it's simply reached its evolutionary limit.
And this slide right here, this presents the central reframe of the entire doctrine when you apply it to our world today. It asks us to seriously consider, what if all this chaos isn't just the end of something? What if it's the necessary mess before a huge, collective leap in awareness, a planetary breakthrough disguised as a civilizational breakdown?
So, okay, after all of that, the cosmos, global crises, what's the ultimate takeaway for our daily lives? What does all this invite us to do?
And the answer is just beautiful. If reality isn't a race to some finish line but an eternal dance, that changes everything. It completely reframes our search for meaning. The point isn't to solve the puzzle of life. The point is to participate, fully and joyfully, in the mystery of its constant, beautiful unfolding.
The text really culminates in this one famous, powerful declaration from the Upanishads, Tat Twam Asi. It means, thou art that. You are not just a little piece of the universe. You are not separate from the totality of existence. You are it. The dancer and the dance are one and the same.
And so, we'll leave you with this final thought to carry with you. If our existence really is this eternal creative process, then every single moment is a new step in the dance. The only question left is the one you have to answer for yourself. How will you choose to move?